What up, everybody? It's your girl Tata.
And your girl Zupa.
And welcome to another episode of Fall Awake
Podcast.
Yo, it's been a minute.
Yo.
And I'm happy. I'm happy that we're on to newer and better things. Before we even get into the topic today, I think we should give our viewers like a little insight into our little hiatus.
Yes, absolutely.
I'll let you go first. I'll let the Queen of Africa go first.
What? Girl, that's big shoes to fill. So yeah, thanks for having us back. We're very excited, and the hiatus was really to come back better, and we were also like very busy doing
She's fronting on herself. We were working, okay? We were busy. She was out here making big things, getting her job, you know what I mean? Me getting a promotion.
Oh, yes.
Relationships failed, but that's on to the next. Yeah, but no, we were doing good things. Like, I can't say. We definitely grew. We definitely flourished. And it was definitely because of our friendship. I think we were able to have that hiatus and be supported along the way. And that's definitely going to be our topic for today. Our topic for today is going to be on friendships. We're going to be diving into a little bit about our friendship, the benefits, the disadvantages, and her favorite topic, toxic, what?
Toxic friendship? Why is it my favorite?
I don't know.
Oh
I don't
my
know.
gosh.
I know. I'm not saying she's toxic, y'all. I'm not saying she's toxic.
Maybe
you know what I mean?
No, but
poquito, I'm joking.
Girl, what is hilarious to me is that this is your topic. You've been wanting to do this topic.
Friendships mean a lot to me. I'm not going to lie. Like, you know this. I always say that I'm a loner for a reason. But I find like the friendships that I've been able to maintain throughout time and throughout my adulthood have really, even though they're just two, like I always say, like I keep my circle small. I don't need a big circle, you know what I mean? But the people I have around me are impactful nonetheless, you know what I mean?
And that's what it's about.
So you want to take it away or?
So how are we going to get into this? What's the structure? How do we begin?
I think we should talk about our friendship.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, I know like for our devout listeners, they know that we've been together. We met in a university and everything like that.
I love how you say we've been together. We're married.
Yeah, pretty much. You know what I mean? Legally speaking, business-wise, we freaking in this to win this.
Yes.
But we met in university, and it was like a whirlwind, I could say. I was going through a lot. You were going through a lot. And we're totally opposite.
Absolutely.
A little ratchet, classy, super bougie. You know what I mean?
Am I bougie?
Yeah, but no, I find the way that we connected, especially in regards to like our education, our drive, our perseverance, and our desire to succeed and make an impact on our community. I feel like that's really what connected us. Also, we were like coming up out of different struggles. You know what I mean? So we really find a connection in that as well. You know what I mean? Yeah. And that's something to think about when it comes to friendships, you know, finding a little bit of that common ground. It doesn't have to be all spectrums and have to agree on all facets, but you know, there has to be that one spark that really draws you to someone. Mm-hmm. Like, I feel like for us, it was kind of like a little clashy. Like,
was it?
We clash.
Do we?
We clash.
How?
Sometimes. But it's constructive.
Yeah, because it's constructive, I don't see it. I don't experience it as clash.
Yeah.
Because I'm just gonna challenge your strong opinions as you do mine. Mm-hmm. But I honestly don't see it as a clashing. And I think that's for another day, another topic. Yeah. This idea of conflict, that there's so much negativity towards like conflict, but conflict can be positive and lead to growth. Mm-hmm. So when you say clash, for me, it kind of has like that negative connotation. Yeah. So like I don't experience that with you. Yeah. So yes, maybe our opinions are gonna clash.
Yeah. But when I say clash, you know me, I don't mean like no. Super.
No, I get it.
But conflict is it definitely has helped our relationship grow.
Definitely.
Having those uncomfortable situations when normally like some individuals would just stop talking to each other or would just not bring it up and let it fester. Mm-hmm. But we were able to put the brave face on and have those uncomfortable conversations and ultimately not just allow our business to grow, but also our friendship to grow. So high five, bitch. Ooh, okay.
So we're casting in this new era of
that's the first and last time.
Was it? It's fine. I don't have a problem with it.
Yeah, I know. Okay.
I don't. But yeah, so we were gonna talk about so our friendship. For me, how I see it, anyways. I've experienced a lot of like conflict in friendships. So whatever disagreements that we've ever had, I've never really experienced it as negatively, so I don't really see it like that.
Okay, because you're used to like
I'm used to something.
Shit.
So for me, it's like, oh, whatever. I don't agree with what she's saying. She doesn't agree with what I'm saying. We're gonna say our piece and see what happens.
Yeah.
And oftentimes there's a middle ground. There's a compromise somewhere. If it's not me, it's you. And other times there's no compromise. We just find the answer.
Yeah.
And most times it's related to the business.
Yeah.
Because in our personal relationship, we don't have no. I mean, you're flaky. I know you're flaky.
I know.
So when
I've gotten a lot better. Come on, talk truth.
Yeah, I mean,
Say for the camera.
She got a lot better. She got a lot better. But so in our personal relationship, I don't ever experience that the type of like the clash or whatever, but more so business wise, because I am very like
Our opinions are different sometimes.
Yeah,
but that's the beauty of it, right?
Yeah, and like I get a little bit controlling sometimes.
Yeah, she's a lot controlling. She's a lot, but it's good because, in a relationship, you usually have someone who is more controlling, but and someone at certain times has to be more compromising. And sometimes the role switches, right?
Exactly.
And we have had a good job of learning this, but also, acquiring a balance, knowing when to compromise. Because sometimes, I'll be like, the slide changed, and you're like, okay, I'll put it back. Or otherwise, you know what I mean? Like, I want to do this activity like this. And I'm like, allow it. Allow it.
No, yes. I remember that one time when the slide changed when we were preparing
I flipped.
A workshop.
Passive aggressively flipped.
And then I see Tamara text me, next time when you want to change something, just let me know first. I'm like, oh Lord. I was hot. I'm like, no, I didn't change. And I had not even deleted it.
I just moved it. She's putting me on blast.
I just moved it. And I'm like, girl, it's there. I didn't remove it.
Yeah,
I wouldn't remove it without letting you know.
For all those listening, I was a nerd and I'm still a nerd. You know what I mean? So when it comes to presentations and stuff like that,
girl,
but I'm getting better.
And then but you know what's funny is because those things you call clash, lots of times it's actually you think I did something that I didn't do, and I'm like, no, girl, it's good, and you're like, I'm sorry,
but crazy. At least we could apologize.
Yeah,
and that's a perfect segue into our first topic of conversation, and I'm gonna ask you the question: what is a friendship, and what are some qualities of a good friendship in your eyes?
Well, a good friendship, I believe, is, someone who's going to support you in your growth, who you're going to be able to not feel guilty when you're changing, or who they embrace your change, right? People, like good friends are really good for like your mental health. They're not gonna make you feel bad about yourself. They're not gonna increase your insecurities. They kind of like alleviate them. So for me, that's really what there's much more. But for me, when I think about a good friendship, it's someone who literally energizes me to be the best version of myself.
Perfect. And just to reiterate on that, I'm going to state some facts that have been shared by psychologist Shirley Vandersteen. So yes, I did do some research. You asked me the question, I said no, but a little bit of research. Okay. So according to psychologist Shirley Vandersteen, she said that friendships really encompass, like you said, trust and respect, right? And one thing that we have to understand is that trust is supposed to be the same, but it looks different to different people, right? Respect looks different to different people. You know what I mean? So a bigger part of that is communication, but not just that alone, comprehension. Because a lot of people can talk, but are you understanding what your friend is saying? Are you understanding what respect looks like to your friend and means to your friend, even though respect may look different for me, right? Respect to me may be checking in with me first before you change a slide. Respect to you may look like, moving a slide but not deleting it. You know what I mean? So I guess that's just like also a process of building that relationship, getting to know that person. And Dr. Vandersteen continues by saying shared interests and plans, like we talk about, that spark that really brought us together, especially when it comes to the Black community.
Yes.
Even though like I'm a member of the diasporic community, you African princess royalty, you know what I mean? Our histories of Blackness have been very different and have definitely impacted the way we speak. It definitely impacted our views and perspectives on the topics that we share, on the topics that we facilitate, especially around blackness and racism and everything like that, but we still found a common ground in our own personal struggles and our desire to really give back to the community, you know? Just to continue, she talks that friendship is mutual encouragement. If you don't have a friend who encourages you, get new friends. That's all I can say.
No, that's a big
on your
one.
success, you know, everything, even small, I always try, you know,
Yes.
we see it, the way we speak to each other.
Yes.
We manifest things, even in our conversations, things that we
Yes.
haven't even achieved yet. You know what I mean? And I think that is a beautiful thing of it, because if we look back to 2-3 years ago, the stuff that we were talking, oh, this is where we're going to be, this is where we're going to be. And we've all done that. Even if it's in the quiet, we've still accomplished most of the things that we were.
Absolutely.
You know?
Even more.
Yeah.
You know, and I know you probably have more on that, but I just want to touch on something you said. The mutual encouragement. It's not just about like, oh yeah, I'm going to big you up because on your project that you're doing, you know. Sometimes you're going through stuff, you know, and now we're older and we're all busy. We all have things going on. But, you know, sometimes you went through a rough patch recently. And sometimes, you know, even if it's a comment on one of your stories, I'm going to be like, you know, gassing you. Like, girl, I see you.
I needed that.
I see you surviving out here. You know, I see the growth. You know what I'm saying? And it's really important, you know, like sometimes we go through a lot of things. We go through dark times. And if you can't be there physically, there's different ways of being there for your friend. There's different ways of encouraging your friend. You know what I'm saying? And so I think that's a really, really big one, because I feel like when you're on a self-discovery journey, I think that's one thing. You know, we met and we kind of clicked on these mutual ideas that we had, right? But also as individuals, we have this, I feel like you've had it before you even met me, and so did I, this desire to self-improve.
Yeah, we're already on that journey.
Yeah.
It was like a pilgrimage of like self-healing,
exactly.
self-discovery.
Self-healing has been a theme in my life. And I feel like it has been in yours too. So when you're on the journey of like, oh yeah, I'll have to be the best
version of
myself, what's next? Oh, well, I want the best version of my classroom, the best version of my community, the best
my
version.
friends.
Yeah, so it just keeps growing. Yeah. And now we're here, but it's really something that I feel like was innate in both of us and was kind of helped us connect.
Yeah, no, that's true. Oh, touche. Ching, ching. Okay, moving on now. So what in your definition, like, give me some examples of what friendship isn't, in your words. Also, from your experiences, I know we both had a rough patch with friends, you know what I mean? Me personally, I always say I know who my friends are, you know? I know friends that feed into me, and I know friends that I feed in, and I know friends that it's reciprocal, right? I don't knock the friends that, like, I have to feed in constantly. But I just know that in that relationship, they know who they are too. And, you know, sometimes I disappear for a month to recharge, right? Because all that constant feeding, I need to get energy, especially being an empath. You're feeling people, they're venting to you, they're, you know, dumping their emotions on you. And that's okay, because everyone needs someone to vent to at some time. But sometimes we have friends who, that's only the relationship, you know what I mean? And it can't be reciprocated. And I try not to knock that, but you also have to understand and see your friends for who they are and not necessarily for who you want them to be.
Yeah.
And if you're comfortable, like I've been comfortable having friends that I have to feed in and they can't feed into me. But I know that if I need to be fed, I'll come to Zupa. You know what I mean? If I need to be fed, I'll go to my girl Sagan or so on and so forth. You know what I mean? But in your words, or also based on your experience, what like, just describe what friendship isn't.
What friendship isn't for me is like criticism. Criticism is a big thing for me.
But it could be constructive, though. So what do you mean? You want to elaborate on that?
Yeah, so criticism in the sense that if all I get from you is criticism, I don't get... Yeah, you can have constructive criticism, but there's and I believe there's numbers for this, but there's a healthy balance where you give someone constructive criticism and it's just criticism and judgment, right? And it's like we're all working progresses, so I don't feel comfortable having a friend who puts themselves in the position to kind of know better, especially about me and my actions and what I'm doing with my life.
Yeah.
You know, like if every time
like the judge and juror type person.
Exactly. So like if every time I see you, you have some comment to say about me, about my life and whatnot, it's not, it doesn't work for me. It doesn't feed my soul.
Yeah, it's not conducive to your growth.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And also I believe that there's these kind of toxic traits that are underlying people's like behavior in friendship, you know, that we don't talk about. It exists, but nobody's ever going to say, oh yeah, I'm jealous. Nobody's ever going to say, I'm envious of this. Nobody's going to say that your confidence makes me feel insecure. Nobody's ever going to come out and say things like that. But those are real things that exist in life. We've watched enough sitcoms that depict those kind of patterns of behavior and ways to relate, to interact. But in the real world, we kind of act like jealousy doesn't exist.
Yeah.
It does exist. Like, for example, my sister and I, is things that we talk about. If something is happening in her life or vice versa, oh, girl, I'm so jealous of you. And then it gives the opportunity the other person to be like, what are you jealous about? This is really hard and it's not as appealing.
Yeah.
And then that energy disappears. So it doesn't linger and dictate our interactions with each other and the way that we relate. But a lot of people are going to feel these negative, these toxic feelings, and then it's going to transpire in the way that they act around you. Or, you know what I mean? Like, for example, you have a business. Your day ones, it's crickets. What is the reason? It's not logical. It doesn't make sense because me.
Like not being supportive by your friends, right?
Yeah, because for me, if my friend is doing something, I'm going to cheer them on. I'm going to be like, yo, you got this. You know, is there any way that I can be of help? You know, I'm going to take it into, I'm going to make actions out of it. If you're really a friend of mine, I'm going to support you 100%. But when you see, you kind of, and the thing is that people have this notion of like, oh, don't have any expectations towards people, no expectation. That's toxic. It's not true.
That's me.
No, it's not true. It's not.
I know what I mean, because you expect your friends to support you nonetheless.
It's not realistic in the world that we live in to say that you have zero expectations towards anybody. It doesn't. It can, unless you live in the bushes by yourself. That's the only way you can have zero expectations towards people.
I think what, you know, like me in my head, when I say that, it's like, I do say I have no expectations, but I think it's very minimal expectations, right? Like I expect the bare minimum so that when people do even more than that, it's a plus. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that can also be an unhealthy way of living because you can manage your expectations. You can have expectations towards me that you're not going to have towards another friend because of the relationship that you have. And if the expectations are based on your interactions with them, your pattern of relationship with this person, and they're healthy, then those are good expectations to have. You know, but if you have this one friend who's always flakes, like for example, I always tease you of flaking.
I got better, man.
I know you did. She did get better. However, in the beginning of our relationship,
flaky. Super flaky.
Yeah, and at some point I'm like, I'm not gonna get mad at this girl for this. You know, it's like, it is what it is. And I have, my friendship with you is not just about that flakiness. It's about so much more that I'm able to tolerate that.
Yeah.
So therefore, I manage my expectations towards you when we say we're gonna meet up. Yeah. You can even, like, my sister, I'm like, yeah, she might cancel. Who knows?
Yeah.
And sometimes.
Just like you and your tardiness. You know what I'm saying? So me and my flaky and her and her lateness, and it just works. You understand?
You know
it works.
Exactly. So it's like, I'm not going to be like, if you flake a day before, I'm going to be like, I've seen this coming. You know what I'm saying?
So it's a surprise. Smile, I'm here.
Yeah, and it's like a mutual respect. Like if you flake every single time, I know sometimes you're going to be like, okay, I can't flake on her today. I know you have those thought processes. And so I can feel that. And so because it's unsaid, but it makes our relationship stronger and it makes us be able to continue being friends because there's that mutuality happening and I am managing my expectations towards you and so are you towards me.
Yeah, definitely. And like for me, when I think of what friendship is not, for sure, friendship is not a smooth ride 100% of the way, right? No. And I feel like even in all relationships, people expect it to be constantly highs, you know what I mean? And they're not able to withstand the lows, and probably because of those expectations, right? if like me personally, maybe like you said, is toxic because I have minimal expectations. I'm used to expecting the lows, right? So that the highs mean so much more to me. You know what I mean? Like I expect people to be shitty.
Why?
You know what I mean? Because people are shitty. Because people
have been shitty to you in the past.
Yeah, people have been shitty to you in the past, yes. And also, I'm a shitty person, and I know that my behaviors can sometimes
You heard it here first.
can sometimes have negative reactions to other people. I know that sometimes when we don't do enough self-searching and like don't have a certain level of self-awareness, that certain behaviors and mannerisms that we do in our comportment has negative impacts on others, right? And it's a constant journey of learning ourselves that a lot of people don't take enough time to do. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I know for a fact, friendship isn't always good times. You know what I mean? And true friendship are the ones that could withstand those bad times.
Absolutely,
you know what I mean? Yes. I've been through several bad times, and I've known who's been around and who hasn't. And they always say, you know, I always say that, you know, I don't have friends, I either have family or acquaintances. You know what I mean? Because it's like, if you can't be there at my bad times, if you can't love me when I'm down, you don't even deserve to benefit from me when I'm up. You know what I mean? But I'm still a person that, like you said, you don't even know why I'm so nice. You know what I mean? I'm still a person. I will still allow you around me when I'm up because I know that that energy is transferable. I know that that positivity is contagious. You know what I mean? So through my trials, knowing that I struggled and was able to amount to something better and bigger, I don't mind having those people around me, or not in close proximity, but, you know, to the point that they can see the transition and see the change, and hopefully that will inspire them to do the same. Hopefully that will inspire them to have a different outlook on the friendship, a different outlook on themselves and the way they are, you know? Another thing I feel like friendship definitely isn't is like constant competition.
Oh my God, yes.
And I know that, especially around women, but I know also like with my guy friends, they say the same thing. It's very competitive. I believe that a certain level of competition is good because it's like, I wouldn't be here if I didn't have healthy competition with some of my friends. You know what I mean? Wanting to do better, wanting to progress in certain areas of my life because I seen that they were able to do it. So I said, you know what? If they could do it, I could do it too. If they could change their life, so can I. You know what I mean? To me, I believe that's healthy comparison, healthy competition. But when it comes to the point that you can't even share your blessings with someone, your friends, when you can't share the good times with them because you're so concerned that they might feel bad, that they're not going to give you the feedback that you're looking for, or, you know, they're not going to have that smile on their face, you know what I mean? Then that's when you know it's getting a little toxic. And just to segue into that toxicity part of friendship, I'll give you the floor, but you know what I mean?
I'm the expert on toxicity.
She's the expert. No, not the expert, but I mean, like, I know you have like some very valid points that you even bring up with me when you were looking at my friendships with other people, telling me, and it allowed me to open my eye to see that, you know, these people are around you because they're opportunists. These people were around me because they were just trying to benefit off of my pain, right? Or benefit off of my healing or some way without giving back to me. You know what I mean? So can you speak on that a little bit more, like about toxic friendships? You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I mean, toxic friendships. It's like any kind of relationship, anyways. You know, it's like if you are not being genuine, okay, you're not showing up as your true self, and you are projecting your fears, your insecurity in any relationship, it's going to be toxic, right? So one thing that I personally have noticed, and not just in like from my friendships, but in multiple groups, there's this thing called groupthink. I think we
talked about it. We learned about it.
We learned about it in school. And groupthink is when there's kind of like a group dynamic. When there's groups of girls, and a lot of like sitcoms depict this reality, is that
and our real lives.
Yes.
No one thinks for themselves anymore.
But seriously, so this group, when there's a group, there's a different dynamic. If you notice, sometimes you're gonna be with a friend, and it's different when you're one-on-one, and it's gonna be different between you and the same friend.
I'm getting flashbacks. I don't want
when it's a group situation, and a lot of times there's gonna be a leader in the group, which then leads to groupthink. Groupthink is when a number of people within a group adopt the same thought process as only one person, and it can be positive if this is a positive leader, someone who takes into account other different perspectives, who is self-aware, who is going to do the work of generally just like being fair.
Yeah, and getting buy-in from everybody.
Exactly, you know what I mean? and making sure that everybody's good.
And has a voice.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, it becomes toxic when that's not the case. When kind of everybody's going to go with this thinking flow without really taking time, just following this toxic leader.
Yeah, without thinking for themselves.
Exactly. So then that is something that happens a lot within groups, and it leads to toxicity.
I'm sorry, we see that with like Montreal Black influencers. I'm like, I'm not going to go there today, but yeah, no, definitely.
Girl, not today.
And it leads to the
we
whole.
don't have the time.
Yeah, it leads to the whole pack mentality. Yeah.
Yes. It's like, and if you dare to challenge the mentality as an individual within that group, then you're cast away, and then you're the problem. And then you kind of become like the scapegoat. Oh yeah, it was her because she's so difficult. It was her because da-da-da-da. And then there's this role that is created for you.
Then everyone starts changing their behaviors, stop inviting you here, stop chilling with you there, to make it feel like you the one that's ostracized, that you're the problem, just because you're bringing up opinions that are different from the group.
Exactly.
And they cannot be receptive to them because they're so freaking closed-minded.
Exactly. So then it becomes a situation where a person or two, or whoever who challenges that pack mentality, they become a scapegoat for something, and you're often in this group situation cast into a role that is extremely hard for you to break out of. Okay, when you're in toxic friendships in a group setting, and so for example, you're the one who always have a problem with everything. So even if you work on yourself and try to break yourself out of that role and maintain these friendships, it's like impossible for you to do. And that's why when we grow older towards our 30s, you see groups kind of like breaking up.
Dissipate. They dissipate, or if they're still together, it's just because back in the day, they wore the same jeans. You know what I mean? They had bobbles in their hair. They were drinking Crush, skateboarding and ting.
You know
but holding on to memories of a past life that they are no longer are.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Memories of a person that they have since changed 365 times 10.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
So for me, I honestly that in my life now, I do have friends that I've had for a long time that are able to be like, hey Zupa, I seen you change. You know, you used to be like this, you used to be crazy, and now you're all like out here, you know, healing and helping other people heal. And when I hear feedback like that, you really have to make sure that you have the right people around you. You have to listen to feedback. And when I'm talking about feedback, feedback is everywhere. You know, you can find yourself in situations where you're super insecure and you're constantly questioning yourself. Breakups with friends can be even harder than with a partner.
Especially in adulthood.
Exactly.
Yeah. Because you share more of those moments.
Exactly.
More of those nitty-gritty experiences versus all lovey-dovey, you know?
Exactly.
A lot of intimate relationships are like, you know what I mean? You could be, makeup sex will change your day. You know what I mean? But in a friendship, there are no makeup sex.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like in a real friendship, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you have to really do the work to get back up from that low.
To communicate.
Yeah.
And communicate doesn't mean talk. No, to listen, to look at yourself in the mirror and be like, how did I contribute to this conflict? People don't want to do that. People don't want to take accountability for their actions, right? So you had a high expectation towards me. You didn't take into account my reality. And then because I didn't fulfill your expectation, now I'm the bad guy.
Yeah.
I'm difficult. So those are things that happen. And it's very important for you to listen to feedback. If someone, a group of people are telling you, Zupa, you're on the right path. Oh, wow, you're doing so great. Oh, you're so amazing. Or you're treating, like, for example, your relationship with me was super helpful for me to not sit in the seat where I'm questioning myself. Hey, am I the problem? Is it me?
Yeah, man, I always big you up. I always big you up.
Am I the drama? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
no, you know what? Zupa, you are not the drama. Not today. You know, and it's because of friendships that I've made that I'm like, hey, we're able to disagree and live on. Like, what is the problem?
Yeah.
You know, I have other friendships that are like Melissa. I've been friends with this girl for like almost 15 years. I've never felt like she feels like I'm a problem. You know what I'm saying? So I have relationships that are able to inform me of who I am, you know? And so being confident in who I am is going to give me the confidence to be like, hey, it's either you mess with me or you don't.
Yeah, straight up.
It is what it is.
And before I give you some suggestions or signs that Dr. Vandersteen pointed out to point that, you know, for you to know that this person is not your friend. One thing that I've noticed that has irked me to the bone.
Tell me about it.
Not hurt, irked. You understand me? It's like, you know, when you have a friend who, like, when you introduce them to a new friend, they friend up that friend. And then as many friends as you get, they will friend up all those friends.
Okay, you're killing me.
I'm sorry. Like, you know what I mean? To the point that, do they even know why they're friends with people anymore? You know what I mean? And I feel it's like, I call them serial friender. You know, like they're serial daters. They're serial frienders. They have a new friend every month, right? But everyone is always the problem and never them. Me, I have no problems with people becoming friends with my friends. I really don't care. You know what I'm saying? But if every time I get a new friendship, you know what I'm saying? You clocking onto my friends, like, what is it in you that you can't go get your own friend? You feel me? Like, I don't care. But, you know, I feel like some people, like, they just so envious of someone's life. They're so envious of the way they communicate, the way people flock to them, you know, everything that they just, in another word of saying, like, I want to be like you. You know what I'm saying?
You are preaching. You're preaching. I have nothing else to add to that.
Yo. Yeah. Anyways, moving on. Okay, so Dr. Shirley Vandersteen, she has signs that should suggest that they ain't your real friends. That's my words, not hers, okay?
I don't think she said that.
Yeah, so they only call you when they want something.
It's the camera guy with the for me.
Listen, not just they only call you when they want something, but they call you only when they want to like I said, know your friends. If they only want to vent, that's okay. Me, some of my friends I had to D-check when they call me. By the way, oh my God, I can't believe that. I said, I hang up. Then she'll call back. Hi, Tamara, how was your day? Yes, B. Start with a salutation, you know. How, Tamara, how you doing? Now vent on me. You know what I'm saying? Setting that boundary, you know what I mean? The conversation is never equal, right? Sometimes it's not going to be, but it's never being equal. Like, you know what I mean? Their problems, their issues, their dreams, their goals, without even taking the time to check in on you. You know what I mean? Constantly maybe picking your brain for ideas, picking your brain for solutions, picking your brain, never giving you credit. You know what I'm saying? Okay. They put you down or make fun of you in front of others.
Oh, that is a toxic trait that I know all too well. And it's jokes.
And it's jokes. It's just jokes. And it's sneaky. Like, oh my God, you're wearing that lipstick again? That doesn't suit you. Bitch, you could have told me that behind closed doors. You could have told me that while we were getting ready together. You know what I mean? And it's worse when it's in business opportunities. You know what I mean? No. It's worse when it's business connections, that you are connecting your friend with a new business partner, a new business opportunity. They, behind your back, go and continue that relationship, but put you down. Anybody that has to put someone down in order to bring themselves up is a loser. Capital L. You know, I'm just saying.
Yo, Tamara is coming back with the fire.
I'm just saying, okay, moving on. You feel bad about yourself when you spend time with them.
Oh, yes. Big red flag.
They are aggressively competitive. They aren't happy for you when good things happen. That happens to me often. They aren't happy for you when good things happen.
Or they fake happy.
They fake happy. But you can feel it.
You can see the smile. The fake smile is very
You can feel it. Or there's that blank, you know, there's no response. It's like, yo, man, I just graduated. Crickets.
I've been seeing that.
Crickets. Yo. It's like, why do I keep telling you things even though I know you hate me? Like, you know
like you want me to die.
Yo, they bring drama into your life. Yeah, but sometimes I think people love drama. Yeah. I think people have become so comfortable with drama that they in themselves are toxic.
No, and honestly, one thing that I've noticed about that, the drama, is when you're constantly talking about people behind their backs in front of me. Mm-hmm. It's like, what? It's just me that you don't talk about?
Yeah.
I doubt
Yeah,
that.
anybody that could talk about someone else that you know with you, that means they're talking about you behind your back with other people. That's what I always say.
Exactly.
Anytime someone comes in, even if, I cut off family members for that shit. I cut off family members for that shit. Even if you're my relative and you could come and tell me, oh, so-and-so was talking about you like this. How could another person feel comfortable talking to my friend, talking to my family about me without someone stepping in and cutting the conversation short? That doesn't make no sense.
And I want to clarify, there's a healthy level of gossip. I think there is. But when that's your activity, your go-to activity is just talking and bashing people.
You're toxic.
And then, and then I see you smiling with the same people you be talking.
You're toxic.
I just wanted to clarify that.
Okay, so moving on. Your relationship feels like it's built on conditionality. Your friendship towards me is conditional on me agreeing with you.
Yes.
Your friendship towards me is conditional on me staying stagnant. Your friendship towards me is conditional on me not succeeding more than you.
Yes.
Bye. No. Bye, B.
Yes.
Your friends bail on you. Okay, between flaky and bail, there's a difference. I was sometimes flaky.
You see how we looked at each other?
It's because I'm a social introvert, so sometimes it's like I'll be amping myself up. I'll say yes, and even the Bible says, don't give your word for surety. Don't give your word if you can't follow through. You know what I'm saying? I be giving my word and can't follow through. But yeah, I don't bail. I flake sometimes, I don't bail. No. Okay, they use your secrets against you and share them. That's why I always say it's always good to air out your own dirt in a constructive way that will heal people, so that when you progress in your life and you acquire more success, that these people who are grimy and they come out of the woodworks, they have nothing to hold over your head. You know what I mean?
I just keep my business to myself nowadays.
They're a bad influence and make you do things that get you into trouble or things that you don't want to do. And I think that goes back to the group think.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Knowing that you don't agree, it goes against your values. Nowadays, people don't have no scruples. Me, I'm very stuck to my values and my principles. Yeah. I have a code, right?
Some people don't. Some people don't.
Some people don't, and it shows. 3 more. They talk about their other friends behind their back to you, which we talked about already. They bail on you when you need them most. They exclude you from things with mutual friends. You're toxic.
Yeah, well, the doctor got it right. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Last thing before we end, we're just going to talk a little bit about how to be a better friend, and we're going to also base it off of our own friendship, how we've been able to adopt certain traits and characteristics that allow us to help us grow, but also what we envision for our other friendships as well. So I'll let you go first. What are some qualities you think that we would need to adopt in our relationship to be better towards each other, and also that you would need to adopt to be a better friend to your other friends, or vice versa?
Yeah, so I really think that the most important thing is to allow people to be themselves fully, right? Me, I'm not perfect. I have a dark humor. Sometimes my jokes are not appropriate. But I have friends who are going to be like, yo, Zupa, that joke was really inappropriate. I'm like, damn, I'm sorry. Like, it was funny in my head, But you have to be able to be yourself in a relationship, whatever it is, whether it's a friendship, whatever it is, you have to be able to show up as your full self. Also,
authentically.
Yeah, authentically. And also being able to be vulnerable. If I can't be vulnerable in my friendships, then it's not a friendship.
Yeah, no.
If I can tell you this is how I feel, I can't.
No.
Whatever that is. Maybe I'm envious of your moves. I can tell you, and then we can have that conversation.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's pretty much it. Respect. I'm not gonna get into loyalty. That's for another podcast, because people have different definitions for what loyalty is.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's what I would say.
For me, it's reciprocity, which I suck at. I'm such a giver. I don't need nothing back in return. You know me. I know you know me.
It's toxic.
I feel like I'm slowly getting better, but like I'm just so happy that God blessed me with like so much love in my heart that it just overflows. But like I'm working on my boundaries.
No, yes, boundaries.
High five.
Boundaries.
I've been working on that. I'm working on my boundaries, and I also believe that's another important thing to being a good friend. Understanding your own boundaries and respecting your friends' boundaries. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Like you said, it goes also to the point of accepting them for who they are. You know what I mean? Maybe a boundary is, not showing up at your friend's house. unannounced.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Just because that's something that you would like your friend to do to you, you know what I mean? Respect them. If you love them, respect them, you know? Maybe it's like, you know, when they're working and they just don't want to be interrupted, you know what I mean? Yeah, you could press a 1, 2, yo, can you come out? Can you chill? You know, but respect the fact that they're focused. Respect the fact that they want to do things a little differently. So, like, there's 8 keys to being a true friend, and, like, we're just going to run through it, and then if you want, you can add on to it. Prioritizing your friends, right? So, not in an unhealthy way, but showing them they care and making the effort to sustain that relationship, not just maintain. Because if the relationship's already unhealthy, you're maintaining toxicness, you know what I mean? Sustain is ways that you're making it more proactive. You're making it more productive, more consistent. Self-disclosure. Respect them enough to allow for disagreement in your relationship and allow your friend the freedom to be different without censure. You know what I mean? Without censorship, without making them feel like their thoughts don't matter, that their you know, perspectives are irrelevant. Touch, affection. Some people don't like that, and that has to do with boundaries. You have to respect that. Like me growing up, I didn't grow up with a mother who's always hugging me. You know what I mean? But that's something that I like to do. Like, you know, I'm all telling you, tell you I love you and stuff.
I don't do that with a lot of people.
No, but I know. I'm like, I love you. After every phone call, I love you. You know what I'm saying?
At some point, I had to respond. I'm like, yeah, I love you too.
yeah, I'm awkward like that, but I like to show my friends that I love them too. I like to say it because you never know what someone is going through. You know what I mean? And I just want to do for other people what I want to do for myself. Do you know what I mean? Loyalty, but we're not going to touch on that. But like, I'm really strong on loyalty. Like, I have this code, and I try to live by it to the best of my capabilities. If not, I feel like I'm the biggest hypocrite in the world. Independence. Okay, so friendships can and do change. There has to be enough freedom and independence in your relationship for the growth that is a normal part of human development, right? We can't have codependency in a friendship. You know, a real friendship allows each and every individual to be independent in their own way, and to respect that, to respect those lines, even if they may be kind of rigid, you know, and to be able to have those uncomfortable conversations. Acceptance, be open and accepting of the choices that your friends make. You can be honest when you're asked for your opinion, but you don't have to be critical or judgmental. And lastly, a willingness to change.
Willingness to change.
Willingness to change. And I feel like that's been the crutch in our, not the crutch, but I think that's been like the cornerstone in our relationship, is that we've been on this forever changing, you know,
journey.
We accept the fact that I accept the fact that you might be different tomorrow. You know what I mean? That you'll have different dreams, different goals, even different aspirations for our business. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And listen, like, for example, when we met, you were starting this whole new life. Oh. And I remember you were talking a lot, putting all your business out. Oh. Now 2 years, 3 years later, you don't say as much of your business as you used to, and it's big. I really have a feeling that I had an impact on that, because every time you be telling your business, I'm like,
on the radio show, especially when the little licks are in me, you know what I mean, and you see me, I start getting bubbly, and I'm like, by the way, and she looked at me, she's like, don't do it, B.
Please
don't do it. And I was like, then
because for me, I'm very protective as a friend, and I'm just like, I don't want people judging my friend because of her stories. Please don't tell us your story. But you know, like, and you changed a lot. You know, sometimes even when you see your friend, this is a key thing. If you see your friend making a mistake, right? Allow her, allow your friend, and just be there for them. And then when they grow through it,
big them up and correct them behind closed doors.
You know what I'm saying? And so you've changed a lot, and so have I.
Yeah, definitely.
Since we met. Yeah. And it didn't change. Our relationship didn't.
I think we changed in the same way, but on opposite spectrum. So I was able to pull back a little bit more into myself, and you were able to pull out of yourself, B.
Yeah, because you make me talk.
You know? Yep. And it's all about sharing the shine. Yeah. So thank you so much for listening. We really, really appreciate it. It's the first episode since we've been back, like we said. And I love my girl so much. And
love you more.
We have bigger and better things. We've been doing so much with regards to workshops and stuff. So really appreciate you listening, and I hope you stay tuned for the next episode.
Thank you. See you next time.